This is our in-depth Patriot Campers Gen2 X1 setup. This isn't just a how-to, this is exactly how we set up on the road, the real way. The parts that go to plan, the parts that don't, and a bit of family fun in the middle.
Here we go, everyone. Hold on to your hats. Opening, says me. So first step is turn the roof button on, hit the roof up. Most of the time I use the rocker switch on the actual kitchen, but at the moment I'm using the remote there, which is handy. So next, now we get down the bungee cord, pull it down, and it just releases the tent. A nice little spot where it just goes in down here, you'll see. Pull out the tent. We've got the kids tent obviously, so there's a little bit more canvas to pull out. It's not really that heavy at all, and anyone can do it really. So that's the thing, pull the tent out there. Then once you come out here, just grab on the red handle. And I remember this was a tip from Justin, owner of Patriot and our founder. And I think it was in the Fraser Island video they did with the Gen 2s when they first come out. Red handle, foot on the tyre. So I've just got the canvas sitting on my leg, easy as. And I just jump up on it and then pull slightly up. And I've got a bit of canvas stuck on it, but it still works. And then pull it out till it stops stretching. As you can see, we just packed it up pretty dirty this morning, so I just a bit of a shake. And then I go inside, and then there's a ratchet systems on this one. So I simply just push this bar up, and you'll hear it will click in. And click. Just like that, bro. And then on the side here, little bungees that just lock the canvas on, get into a nice position. I usually do those. And then there's this main bar tent which has the light on it in here. I don't know if you can see that. Has a light. I just pull it forward so it sits the tent nicely. And that sort of locks it all in place. We've had this thing in like literally sounds like I'm exaggerating, but literally 60k winds on a remote beach at Esperance. And a bit of flapping with the tropical roof, that sort of thing, but it's a canvas tent, you've got to expect that. And but held up really well. You just got to make sure it's pegged in really well for windy situations. But other than that, we've had this thing tested out well and truly just over a year. We've been living it full time. So just a little bit of background there. What I like to do normally is I'll just quickly zip up the door so that just gets a bit of rigidity into the canvas. Just when you peg it all out and get it all taut, it just helps to hold its shape, and you can't close the door or something later on. These are all things you work out by using it a lot. So it looks like I'll probably just slightly lower it. I've gone here full up on the airbags, full height, and then as you can see down the bottom here, it's not really touching the ground beautifully. If you really want to get picky with it when we're here for a few nights, we will. I'll just probably I'll get all the tents sort of laid out, get it positioned. So I'll come over here and next I'll pull this out. Just get into position. Here's the kids tent. Just get into position there. The mat's a good idea. Just keeps it all nice and clean. And then I just make sure it's all ready to go. These doors, sometimes we undo them. Make sure the canvas is just sort of positioned on the edge of hello there. Positioned on there like that. That's just sort of just needs to butt up against the trailer so there's no gaps and things. So what I'll normally do is I'll pull this out here. I won't usually peg it down fully until I've got the trailer level in the right position. And by that, I mean not just the level of the bed and the trailer itself in the kitchen, but making sure that it's, when you peg it down, it's going to be sort of 90 degrees perpendicular, if you like, with the ground itself and the trailer. So that's not pulling on any of the stitchings or any of the peg mounts there. And that way the floor, sometimes we've had it where if you haven't done that properly, the floor will be a bit off the ground, a bit odd. So if you want it nice and flat, nice and level, a couple of poles. These two will be supports on the inside of the tent. You don't need them if it's a one-night stay. You could go without it. We have. It just helps, again, to keep a bit of rigidity in the tent. If it is a bit windy, it just helps to keep the structure on the canvas. But also helps you sort of level it, I would say, especially with the kids' tent on. So I'll get those two out. This one, when we're using the awning, I'll usually put this one in. This is a spreader bar to help keep the canvas pushed out on the awning and just keep it nice and taut in a good shape. So I'll get that one out. And the last one is the kids pole tent. This one just goes in the canvas and then locks in. So really 3 poles. Get them into position. And then if we're doing a quick overnight stay, even with the kids tent on, I really only use these 8 pegs. Obviously, without the kids tent, you could not peg it down. We've done that before. If there's no wind and it's nice spot. If it's windy without the kids tent on, just the main tent, 4 pegs, 2 poles, done. Again, you could make it more simple than that, but that's just a pretty good way of doing it. With the kids tent, we'll do a full setup now, so it'll be 17 pegs, I think, for literally peg the whole tent down. That's for everything. That is super secure. That's every corner pegged down. Again, you can do a lot less than that if you really wanted to, but that's all of it. So I carry a heap of pegs, sand, hard ground, the whole lot. So roughly about 17 to peg the whole lot out with the kids tent, and then 10 for the awning. So what's that? 27 all up. So a lot of pegs, but that's, again, you don't need to do all that. That's for a complete full everything. Look, if you really wanted to go further with bad weather, we've stayed even longer. You can then we carry them in the roof box of the car. You've got the sail awnings, which will Velcro onto the side of the tent and to the awning. So you literally have this porch, they call it, all the way around to both doors. You have it undercover. Not hard to do. A couple of Velcros and a few extra pegs and a few extra poles. So that's a little bit more of a long term, or you want a lot of undercover, or you've maybe got more people with you. That's a good way to do it as well. So you get a full setup. So that's one thing we've loved about the X1 is that not only is it on the Gen 2 hard roof, electric, really easy to do, great awning, great tent, heaps of space with the second tent, of course, for kids. But then there's different levels to the setup. So you could literally go one main tent, literally a couple of poles, no pegs if you wanted to, literally, or no poles, or a couple of pegs, couple of poles, no awning we do for one night. So it's just quick, roll it in, gone, quick overnighter. But then from there, you can then put the kids tent on, and then still really quick. We use it for one night as well. We just only maybe a few pegs, and then it rolls up all together straight in. So that's pretty quick. Or then if you want to go a little bit more from that, then you've got the awning with the main tent and the kids tent, a little bit more space, a bit more coverage, and obviously the room inside. So like we'll get friends and family and people we've met on the road will say, like, what do you do when the weather's gone bad and, you haven't got a lot of indoor space? Well, you'll be surprised in these 2 tents here, and then you've got the bed as well. So it really feels like 3 rooms to us, really. It feels like a 3-bedroom house. So you've literally got the bed up top, which sometimes we'll lay up there with the kids and watch a movie. We've played card games up there. The kids are in bed. Katie and I have sat up there and have a drink up there. So we have the kids' beds in here, which we can show you. But like you've got that whole main tent area is the point here, that we've literally pulled like a table and chairs in there. The weather was bad and the kids can be comfortable in there, and there's heaps of room with both. But with the awning and then the sail awnings as well, if you wanted to, you've got quite a bit of coverage. So that's just a quick overall of different types of setups, different levels that we consider it. And yeah, helped us choose the X1.
Because then I can come follow you.
Yeah.
Milton.
Go on. Get him. Go on, get him. Go to mummy, mate. Stop blowing your own trumpet.
Come lie down here.
You good, Tilly? What you up there? Just being a legend. Oh, you're sitting on the toilet. Was that March fly making you dizzy? Love you. All right, so I'm just going to quickly check the level and level it now. It's pretty good. So lengthwise, it's pretty much spot on. And across the trailer, just needs a little bit more. So this is where I'll literally just dip the tent side down. So stay tuned. Joys of airbags, of course. Literally flick the switch a few times. Just check it a few times. Obviously, you don't need to go too crazy with it. It's got the good old $2 Bunnings special level there. Quick sip of the mother's milk. All right, let's get stuck in. Let's peg these down. No trouble for the Ryobi, I tell you. Start with the ends. So I do the far corner. The way I like to do it. So I'll chuck these ones in now. It's good because they've all got adjusting straps on them, so you can, if you're really particular with the canvas, you can get it pretty darn perfect. Oh, just one in here. I like to start at the corners and sort of just get it all straightened out nice and flat. I'll go over the other side now. Get that corner in. Pull it back so that it's sort of nice and taut and gets the driver. It's always a good way. Easy work for the Ryobi. Now this is not a speed run. this is doing this slow and taking our time and dealing with the kids while we're doing this. So if you want to see a speed run, Justin does a really good one from Fraser Island from a couple of years back. I think there's some other good ones out there from other people, but just wanted to, a little bit of a technical and detailed one. So not sure how long this is taking, but probably would do this a little bit quicker if we weren't filming and dealing with the kids. If I could just get in and bang, 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 nail it out, you could get this done a lot quicker, as per why I'm not rushing too much. Plus, just got to the island, lovely day, epic spot. So we are chilling. If you want to do a speed run, comment in the video and say, I want to see a speed run, how fast you can do it. And we'll try and get that done, but not a speed run today. Also really helps depending on the surface when you're screwing in pegs. As you know, we've literally traveled around the whole country now on so many different surfaces from beach, so you do have to have some different sort of pegging setups and whatnot. I've just got the sort of Bunnings screw pegs that we use for the main work. They're so blunt now, so I need to get a new set, but especially with the hard rock, WA, Northern Territory, so it makes it a little bit tricky doing so many screw pegs. So as long as you've got a good drill, and sometimes I've even had to use a drill bit and cordless drill and even pre-drill some of the holes when it was really quite hard to peg things down. So this is pretty nice and easy. So if you get a good ground and a good setup, that makes a big difference, and you can just whack it in and you're away. So that's the base floor, 8 for the base floor. Floor's pegged out, and then I'll do the flaps and the pole. We'll do that in a second. All right, so next I'd like to get the pole up to the kids' tent. At this point, I've been using like a big hex peg for when the weather picks up. So when you're first attaching the kids' pole on, you've just got to swap over the kids' tent rope here, and it just clips onto the little magnetic clips. They're really easy, and it clips onto the roof, tropical roof. So when you pull it, it pops the tropical roof up, and then it links the whole bits and pieces together. If you're just using the main tent, you just put this rope with the kids' tent and you wrap it up and put it wherever you're going to put it, and then the tropical roof clicks onto the main tent. So that's just one change you've got to make when you're using the kids' tent. But once you've got it set up, if you're like us and you just use the kids' tent pretty much all the time, well, then you just leave it set up and it's done. Also, ground does make a big difference in terms of getting the tent. It is a canvas tent at the end of the day, so to get it, like if you're a bit particular with it, it does take a little bit of fiddling with it. You get good at it, of course, with a bit of use and you know how it likes to go. So I find if it's not perfectly flat, of course, then the tent's going to have a few little bits and pieces to it. But of course, as we know, with camping and reality, it's very hard to find anything perfectly flat, even concrete. So there's these adjuster straps on here. I'll show that in a second. You can get it pretty spot on. So I pop the pole up as high as I can. And what I tend to do is not watch the bottom so much, because if it's raining or whatever, yes, you sort of want that to box out and bag out, so it's not going to get flooded or anything like that. But I tend to watch the top. So because it slightly slopes uphill, you can see on here, if I pop the pole up too high, it'll just straighten out the bottom, but it'll bag out the roof, so then you're no good. So I just sort of get it where the roof is the pole's slightly lower, so it angles down. That way everything can run off. And then, we're not expecting any rain. If it does, I could adjust if I really wanted to, but that's, from our experience, that's pretty good. So it just slightly bags at the bottom just because it's going uphill slight. So if you're a little bit particular, or you'll see a lot of on the Facebook pages and bits and pieces of Patriot, get it all the time, where people go, oh, the tent's not right, it doesn't sit properly and whatever. It does take a little bit of mechanical aptitude, if you like, and a bit of patience. It's probably the first thing, and just a little bit of know-how and a bit of play here and there. But everything is pretty much adjustable, so you can get it pretty much spot on for whatever terrain you're into. So that's a little bit of background there. So big peg, bang it in. And I'll just tighten up the strap. You don't need to overdo this one. This one is just, with a bit of practice, bit of experience, you again get to learn it all. This one here, if you over tight it, it'll just pull the pole down. It'll just that break in the super peak pole here will just release and it'll just fall down. So you just do it until that's taut. Literally don't need to over tight that one. The one I sort of more crank is this one here, for the weather window here. And as you'll see, if I pull that, it'll sort of pull the pole forward. So as I just tighten that, so that this, look, if it's pouring down rain, you don't want that to sort of be too much, because then it will start to cool. But I've found from my experience, that's very rare for that ever to happen. It's usually pretty good. So I usually crank this one here to get that shape coming forward, and that usually settles it. Then I go back and start doing this one again, just gently. You don't need to overdo this. You just want a little bit of I don't know if you can see it from there, but if I pull that, it'll pop the tropical roof a little bit. So you want it to pop, but not at the expense where it's then going to create pools in the top of the roof here. So just nice run off everything all the way down. That's what you want. You'll have a bit of slack here. That's cool, because you can just either, if you're really particular, that's got Velcro, you can slide it up and I just leave it there. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's looking there. So now once I've done the pole and this end, I'll just bang 2 quick pegs in. Then I usually, again, you don't have to do this, but I like to just peg it with the kids, just jump around in the morning and go nuts. Kids jump around and go nuts in the morning, and so this in the morning I usually got to fix it up. But I bang 2 in here, that'll just stop the pole from moving. And then I'll go along and do the kickstand flaps. These are pretty important because they'll need to, I usually like to adjust these actually as well. So I'll go along now and just adjust those to bring out any bagging. Just do it to where it's nice and taut. Get rid of any bagging in the kickstand floor. Pull it each way, and then I'll go and do the flaps. So let's do the flaps now. So I'll get them here. Again, a little bit of play and a bit of experience. First couple of times using it, you're going to just need a few goes at it. So I find if too much that way is no good, too much that way is no good. You'll just see where the tent likes to be. Hammer those in. You can go, if you really pick it, you can go back and adjust those. So there's 3 along the sides. Hammer those in. Easy as. You just see where it likes to clip. Done. Look at that. And then last side, and then that's pretty much it for the main tent. Simple. heaps of ventilation, heaps of flow under these kids' tent vents. So if you pop them out correctly, you'll see it. Not only does it sort of pop the tent out nicely and shape it, but runoffs as well. But you'll see it'll create, when we show you inside, it'll create some awesome ventilation under there. So the kids' windows are under there, and when the breeze, especially when you're near the beach now, the breeze will just come straight in. You've got a big one at the back as well. I just usually do a bit of a triangle and roll it up. The Velcro's here.
What's happening, kid?
Whoa!
Let's talk the cubby house.
Quick check in with Daddy.
Daddy getting hydrated.
Yep.
Kids got snacks. Kids are happy.
So come and have a look at this. Let's see how we went. So we got these mats from Bunnings, these little artificial floor ones. And, you know, when we first got this, I was thinking, oh, geez, the pegs don't seem like a great spot. I'm just going to kick my toes on those. But what we found is not only is it nice to have some doormats before you go in and out, but I usually position them on top of the pegs here. All right, so awning will come out next. Sometimes I've even done the awning first, like I might have mentioned at the start. You don't really need to do it one way or the other. It's just the way we're doing it now. So let's get the awning done. Here with the little eyelets here, they'll be on each pole, so you can use them as pegs too, and they'll just, when you first get it, they'll pop in there to hold it while you're travelling. So undo those. Then I've undid the Velcros there. Swing it out. Really easy to do. You can do it one person. Maybe if it's crazy windy, you might need a second person. Sometimes you get the kids, don't I, kids? You guys sometimes help? Oh, yeah. Oh, we're helping now.
Mum, we are helping Dad instead of doing our chippy.
Thank you, guys. Look at this. So get yourself some helpers. Makes it even easier. Next. Keep running away along. You can adjust it as you go on the fly. So once the pegs are in, you can still adjust it. You just spin the pole and it will move up and down. I don't know if that's just ours from excessive use or whether that's like that from factory, but yeah, you can adjust them as you go. So even if you can sort of put out the awning and then you can adjust it even when you're leveling the trailer or leveling all the bits and pieces as you go. So you can do that. That is the idea there. So I just usually get them rough. And then you can swipe to back around the front. Right, continue to blabber. Fall down the little flaps on the side here, little canvas. I can show those in a second. But you can, in heavy rain situations, well, you can do it a few ways. You can get runoff ropes, pull them on here, peg them out with the ropes that come with it, and that'll create runoffs here for the rain, so then you can leave the poles. Or we've just sort of found it a bit easier of late. We'll have one up, one down to create runoffs, just lower the poles. So you can literally leave them pegged in and you can just, oh shit, it's pouring down rain, drop it down, leave that one up, drop it down. So every second one I drop, and that creates runoffs, and then you don't have extra pegs and extra ropes. So that's just sort of how, it just means that a few times Daddy's gotten a little bit upset when he bangs his head on the pole. And I think once I did cut my head on one of the plastic bits here, sharp bits. So that's probably the only downside, but you can do it either one way. You can peg it down if you wanted to for rain runoffs, or we just tend to up and lower the pole. So that's one advantage. So moving on, this is the next spot. You get here under the little eyelet there. It's got a little hook to travel. Undo that. Come on around. Don't mind all the red dust. That's just part of the character. I think someone at the Patriot owners that we went to said, "How do you get the red dust out?" And Justin said, "You don't." And yeah, all the other owners probably feel the same. Gives a bit of character. So I just sort of get all these sort of level to, I just sort of look at the hinge and just get it level with the hinge, because we literally in 2 years of ownership and living in it for a year and a half, on other awnings that we've had, won't name any names, but other awnings we've had similar style with the plastic hinges, we've broken quite a few, especially wind and whatnot, but we've never broken any of these hinges on these Super Peg 1 ever to date. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. So I just try and generally get them level. When I was saying before about you can lower the poles and raise the poles to create runoffs, I don't do it crazy where it's going to stress the hinges. I just do it enough where it looks, you just have a look at it, make sure it's in it's low enough where the water's going to run off, but it's not going to snap anything. So that's just something to keep an eye on. But we've literally had it in 60k winds, as we said earlier, in crazy remote places, and this thing has been actually very impressive. Something I didn't know it was going to be that strong, to be honest, when we first got it, and that reliable. So one thing I always forget is when we do this, hold this. I usually get the kids to do this, but they're having their snacks. The rope that comes with it. These things we use to tie down on the roof as well. They're so good. Pretty much every awning brand has them now. You can. Tilly likes to help to hook it. So this is just wear and tear and use. So don't yours, if you've got one new, will come with its own eyelet here. You'll usually hook it on there. But because that broke a long time ago, probably just pull it. I wouldn't even say wear and tear. I'd just say probably just me pulling it a bit too hard and going a bit too gung ho. But I'll just click it into the pole, into the hole of the pole, and then Tilly likes to come along and hook it onto the drawbar. If you can see that, onto the handle, pretty easy to do. And then really easy, you just pull it. Again, don't go nuts with it. I've done it before. That's probably how I broke the little eyelet there. I just pull it so that you can see all the poles. Thank you, mate. Can you just put it next to the bin, please? Okay. What I tend to do is just pull it enough where you can see it stretch the canvas so it's taut, but you can feel it when it goes too much. Obviously, you don't want to pull it all the way. You can see if I pull that, it'll get it sort of pretty taut. Yeah, so just don't overdo things from experience. And then let's go and put the pegs in. Actually, before we do that, you don't have to do this. It's just an optional. Actually, you can see it's sort of a bit baggy here, and maybe that's just ours from the extra use. Sometimes it can be how the poles are sitting, but you can get this spreader pole that comes with it, and usually goes into those holes, push it out, and that just gets it nice. And then you can helps with a bit of wind and rain, I guess, get a bit of rigidity into it. And then I just go along and just level it. Not level it. I go along and just check it. This one's probably a bit high. This one probably needs to go up a tiny bit. So you can get really picky if you want to, but if you're just in a rush, or you just there to get it done, that's a quick look at it. And then, yeah, so there's 2 pegs on each pole. And again, we've had it in crazy weather and crazy winds and that sort of thing. And most of the time, we'll just whack 2 pegs in each pole, make sure the ground's nice and solid, that they go in well. And we've literally had it up like that 99% of the time. We've, in a couple of situations, put extra ropes on these little runoff bits to help hold the canvas down in crazy winds, or you've got those eyelets here to hold them down. So that's a bit of extra you can go to, but literally those have done most of the job. So let's get those done. As you can see, my hat's about to fall off, and put your head between your legs and kiss your bug goodbye. Yeah? There's a chippy on your hand. You're kidding me. How did it get there? Again, as I said earlier, this is not a speed run. If you want to see that speed run, we'll do it another day. If we get enough people saying they want to see a speed run, we can do it. We'll just have to get the kids babysat, and we'll have to have more beers. We can do a speed run if you really want to see that. This is not the intention. This is just a full detailed, trying to get a little bit technical, a bit nerdy if you like. They talk you through everything, see it for real how it is. The kids are sitting here having snacks and then annoy the hell out of us, and then come back and have a play, and don't you guys? And help a bit too, which is nice. Learning a lot on the road. So things can go wrong, and things can delay you a little bit. But this is just meant to be just a real casual walk around and bit of detail. So that's that. Let's get going. We've got 2 more poles to do, and then there's one more bit I've got to show you, and then we'll take you for a little walk around. And I think that's kitchen, and that's pretty much it. So that's done with the drill and the pegs. Next bit I've got to show you is up under here. If you come in here, this is sort of where you'll see the canvas joints. You've got a couple of flaps here. That sort of hangs down for the rain. So you can see the gutters that Patriot made have got on here. You've got gutters all the way around the roof. And so water will flood down through here if it's pouring rain. And the idea is it comes down through here, We have, not Patriot's fault, but out of our fault, we have broken these little gunnered pieces off. So we've got to get those replaced when we head back in for our big service later on this year when we get back home. So the water will run down here, and you've got these little runoffs that you'll click on. So the water will just run down. It runs down the trailer. So the idea is you're not meant to get any water in anywhere, but that's where these flaps come in. That sort of helps to shield the water from coming in and directs it down the gutter. So then what you've got to do is here, you don't have to do this, but if you're expecting a little bit of bad weather, it helps with a bit of rigidity, I guess, too. This has got a Velcro on the back here, and there's a Velcro up on the tent. So I usually just get up under there and just give it a little push. I might have to take that off. And a little push up. And just Velcro that up under there. So that secures it to the tent. As you can see, it creates a bit of a runoff when it's raining. So that's probably the final thing I usually do. And then let's show you the kitchen. So then this is probably most people's favourite part. We've got kitchen here, but then boom, let's pull out the go ready. Out comes the kitchen. Boom. And you can do the cutlery drawer, and then boom. Yeah, chili. And then we can hang the tea towel up there. Good job, everyone. Nice.
Yeah. Chili.
And can you push the drawer in? Because we need it closed.
No, we need it open so I can cut some sausages and some steak.
Oh, good choice. It's getting lunchtime. We might get some sausages and steaks. You right, Dylan? Do you need help? Yeah, how about I hold it, and then do you want to pull it from the other side and pull it in? Nice. You can just pull it all the way down. Nice job, everyone. Well done. High five. Bam. Bam. And is there anything else we've missed?
No.
We'll leave the cutlery drawer open. Oh, good girl. Pipe. Chuck the pipe on. So, again, don't look at this. We broke that because Daddy accidentally left the latches on the front box open, and it was only, 3/4 of the way around the country of our trip, so we'd had plenty of experience at that point, and the door come open over a bump on the highway, and luckily everything stayed in place. Just the hose came out, and then we ran over it, so it got broke. So now it's only a short one, but it still works until we get a new one. So, yep. So just chuck it down there, put the hose on, and look, I've seen people complain and say the hose doesn't stay on the Facebook pages, but look, we don't use any zip ties or anything. That stays on there pretty secure. If you were staying a bit longer and you had trouble with the hose, you could just zip tie it on or clamp it on or something if you really wanted to. But that's it. That's the kitchen sink. Barbie out. Simply pull her out the old Weber barbecue, and then gas bottle all around. See that? But gas bottle literally just stays in there. They're a 3.7 or 4 kilo ones, 3.7s, I think now. Got two, one on each side. We use the other side. We'll pull it around for the cooker, and on the other side there, so you've got two. That's the Barbie setup. Pretty simple. We'll cook some lunch soon. Toilet, so we've just got a little portaloo we've had for ages, and then we have the Outback Tourer shower tent. So if we're in a pretty remote, nice place, we did carry a how would you call it, like an ensuite shower tent that we used for the toilet, and most people will just plonk one here, and then you've got the shower hose runs out of the diesel heater of the shower box, so you've got your heater and your shower, hot shower you can do literally there. That's probably where most people would do it. I mean, we do that, but if we're in a remote area, most of the time we just go in the nude, don't we? And just under the stars. Most of the time you're here if you're with the kids and whatever, so you can just shower in here and then go straight in. You can have mats here and stuff if you want. And with the toilet, you can do the same. So you just set up your little portaloo. We just carry that inside. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let us know down in the comments about your camping setup and any tips and tricks you might have. We'd love to hear from you. For more daily content, head over to our Instagram @Mellings and Trippin'. And from our family to yours, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.